Welcome to God Chosen Cosmic Melodies. I got the ball on my head. So we're gonna jump right into it, and I want to start talking about the holographic universe that we're living in, and these revelations that were occurring to me. So like, this is not the greatest example of a globe because it's not blown up like to a round globe that we know it. It's just, but you get the point. Okay, it's a globe and you can see through it. So that's why this is a great example. So we live in a holographic universe and we live on a holographic globe, and there's different dimensional planes. But in the 3D realm, people think that this globe is solid because we experience it as solid in the third density, right? And so right, we live on an electromagnetic grid. And so this holographic earthly plane has an electromagnetic grid, like magnet and negative and positive. And the electrical charge, we are meant to be living in a symbiotic way with the electromagnetic field of the earthly plane, because we are electromagnetic beings. And so our energy system is supposed to be connecting to the Earth's grid more often than not. But in the societies we live in today, most people maybe get 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. That's rare for people to be in contact with the Earth, when we're supposed to be having more hours in our day connected to the Earth than not connected to the Earth. But in the system that we live in, they normalized it to cause this disconnection on purpose. It's to disconnect us from our true spiritual organic state of being, which is in interconnection with the electromagnetic field of the earthly plane that we live on. So remember, we are undivided light here in the third density holographic matrix simulation. We are interdimensional, multidimensional, electromagnetic, metaphysical souls in a human experience in a third density holographic matrix simulation. This might be way too advanced for some people, and that's okay. They just have to rise in consciousness. And when they watch my videos and you rise in consciousness, it will be something that you better understand on deeper levels. And you don't just hear it and it sounds crazy, but you really understand it and the facts behind it and all. So now I want to jump in. I just wanted to give this example so you could kind of get that idea of like how wherever you are in the world, you can lower in density or rise in frequency. So I want to jump to this part of the book, from Waking Up in 5D, a practical guide to multi-dimensional transformations. If you haven't read it, go get it. I recommend. So I'm just going to go through the 3 densities, and then in my next video I'll go over the fourth dimension, 5th dimension, and the 6th dimension. But this one, it'll just be 1 to 3. So for the state of being in the 1st dimension, it's inner focus, self-awareness, and will of God. And what we find here is the point of self-awareness. That is the 1st dimension. And so the 2nd dimension is the outer, the state of being for the 2nd dimension is outer focus, point and line. It's a point and line. It's only 2D. It's like a photo. It's 2D, like a piece of paper. Wisdom of God. There's wisdom of God, printed on paper. And what we find here is recognizing relationship orientation towards self and others, beginning of polarity. So better understanding itself. So 3rd density is the state of being in 3rd density is inner focus, matter-based, active intelligence, devotion to God. Well, when you're in the God frequency, this is the ideal place where we integrate individuality with godliness. We learn to hurt and heal. We learn sound and colors from higher dimensions emanates from one's body. Remember, because we are electromagnetic and we have a whole energy system. And so sounds and colors from higher dimensions emanate from one's body, and tones reweaving it into a functional pattern. Ceremony, words, ceremony, and actions. The goal is balancing experiences of polarity by integrating matter and contrast matter-based. So kind of like I say a lot in my videos, is to alchemize and integrate and restore the balance in your whole energy field, in order for you to be in a place where we integrate individuality with our godliness, having God work through us, and calling on God to work through us, creating. And then so in 3D, what we find here is this is what we're all meant to be doing. But the system that we live in, because it's ran by secret society, satanic cults, they want people disconnected from this truth, because the more people are disconnected from this truth, the more easy it is for them, the secret society, satanic cults, to control them with witchcraft and energy manipulation, sorcery, and magician kind of things, Anyway, so back to what I was saying, in the 3rd density, what we find here is we're meant to be creating heaven on earth. Projection from other dimensions, the drama of good and evil, polarity, consciousness. So we're meant to be constantly alchemizing the polarity into unification every time we encounter the good and evil polarity old paradigm. Polarity consciousness appears of number and relationships, such as irrational constants as pi becomes the basis of creation in matter. Ever-present polarity consciousness caused by loneliness for God. causes occasional desire to escape 3D into heaven. So because people don't make it a point to be intentional with connecting to God and anchoring God's source energy, holiness, like the God frequency flowing through your vortex and all of your energy centers, so that God can revive you from inside in a way that nothing in this 3D realm can. And so some people will feel like they want to just go back home or escape. They want to just, and sometimes people commit suicide or do, because they're trying to escape this feeling of separateness, because they're not doing the inner work. You need to do the inner work to alchemize and unify the polarity constantly and call on God, because God's waiting for you to call on God in order for God to really do more supernatural things for you and with you. And as you heal yourself, you have more supernatural reinforcements assisting your healing process. So the goal is to work towards balance and use desire to create heaven on earth. So having a desire to heal, having a desire for love for yourself and others, and having a desire for experiencing a better experience of reality while we're here, and that starts from the inside out. So we literally came here to this third density. It's a lower density. So because it's a lower density, there's an experience of separation, but it's up to us to do that inner work to constantly integrate the higher truths of ourselves, the higher truths of ourselves, because we're souls in a human experience. So our soul oneness with God came down to this density to experience this human experience. And so it's important that we don't get lost in it and forget that this is not all there is. We came down here to experience this, to bring heaven on earth. Throughout the trials and tribulations, we're meant to unify polarity and alchemize pain into healing as much as possible. And it's not going to just happen on its own. You really do have to do the inner work in order to experience higher levels of expression. So being able to reach to the third dimension while in the the 13th dimension. So in my next video, I'm going to start talking about the 4th dimension, the 5th dimension, and the 6th dimension. So we're going to do it 3 at a time in each video for the upcoming videos till we get to the 13th dimension. So if you want to come along on this journey with me, subscribe if you haven't already, click like, and ring the bell for upcoming videos, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss out. And remember to pray, because our words have power. Remember, we are in a holographic universe, and we are holographic ourselves. We are undivided light in the third density, projecting out the spectrum of colors. And so when you project out things, make sure that you're thinking and feeling positive things as much as possible. Choose to live in a life of color and not just black and white. Activate your energy centers. Tune into God. Have God flowing through your energy centers so you bring more color into your life. And remember, when you connect to God through your prayer words, you're also assisting humanity, because your words, because we simulate our reality from the inside out, your words have power to restructure wave patterns and to infuse the God frequency into the quantum field. And the more of us do this all around the world, forgive my globe here, it's not the greatest example, but for the more of us, all the 144 plus more, do this all around the world, connect our electromagnetic fields to the electromagnetic field of the grid, and have our open portal from the heavens above and God's source energy working through our electromagnetic field and anchoring heaven on earth and God frequency onto the grid, the electromagnetic grid. Because remember, we're living in a holographic universe on a holographic earthly plane, and we are electromagnetic souls in a third density. And so this is the power we have to uplift anything and everything from the inside out with God's source energy. Your direct connection, plug it in and change the world. Infuse the God frequency throughout your whole energy system and into the earthly plane, so that we can upgrade the frequency of the earth through our electromagnetic field, and having us be an open portal to the heavens above. God is calling us to listen to God's guidance now more than ever, and remember the power you have as an undivided light angelic being here in this third density of polarity. You have the ability to alchemize and heal anything and everything from the inside out. So master yourself and constantly redirect yourself to the right ways of thinking, better ways of thinking, feeling, being, and doing. And I will leave this one here. I will talk to you all in my next video.